Hello! Oh god, the voice is a bit raspy there. I am. Let me do it again. Damn it! Do you know what? F it. We're leaving it in. Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 317. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh. Crash, I can't do it, Crash. My voice, you can hear it in my voice, right?
I know. I can hear it. Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. I've been out partying. My life, Crash, as you know, life's been very different for me as of lately. As everyone keeps telling me. Oh,
you're
Fixer.
a superstar.
As everyone keeps telling me, Crash, because that's all I seem to keep hearing. Oh, look, it's famous Fixer. Bro, I'm just a guy from the ends. I'm a nobody. Why does no one understand this, Crash?
It's all the illusion of social media. But I just want you to know that if I ever meet you, I need an autograph fix.
Oh my god, I'll slap you up.
I need to
Crash.
frame it and keep it sealed so that when it's worth a lot of money, I can just sell it. You know,
you couldn't just reference the how many podcasts we did together. But now I know that guy. Look at this thing I have.
I need to get money out of this relationship fix.
Well, can't we just turn this podcast into an NFT and then you're rich?
I don't think that would work.
Why not?
I don't think that's how NFTs work.
I mean, if
I'm pretty sure there's like some sort of back end to NFTs.
Yeah,
maybe if we delete them all.
No, you don't have to delete them. It's like this is not the NFT podcast. I've got to be honest.
I don't really.
If you didn't know, My Xbox and Me is a weekly Xbox podcast, not NFTs. All about Xbox. If you wanna, this is how you know I'm off my rhythm so badly. So if you want the show early, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer. Throw us a couple of bucks. Help keep the lights on. Help keep the show on the road. Crash, I think the first thing to speak about, I guess, would be where's Matt? Because he's not been here for a couple of weeks. And he's not going to be in next week either. I don't think he's here the week after that either.
No. So this week, no Matt. Next week, no Matt. Week after that, no Matt. And then Matt, question mark?
I mean, so Matt just decided. So, okay, let me give the My Xbox and Me audience the full look behind the glass. We were going to do the podcast this week, hence we're late again this week again, and I am disappointed in us. We're late again, and that's on me. I'm just super busy. We'll get into all that. We'll get into why I've been busy, but that's not important right now. But yeah, so we go to the podcast. Matt says he's sick this week, right? That was this week.
No,
was that last
he was
week?
busy. That was last week.
So he was busy this week. Got you. So he was like, can't do it. And by the way, I'm going away for 2 weeks. I'm not going to say where just in case he doesn't want people knowing where he's gone. He'll let you know on Twitter, I'm sure, if he wants people to know. And I was just a bit like, you didn't want to tell us about this? Like, we've got meetings to set up. We've got Game of the Year stuff to sort out. And he's just like, out of nowhere, oh yeah, I'm going away for 2 weeks.
Look, I really want to defend Matt. Like, let me be straight. Like, getting sick, that's going to happen. Matt's been busy with work. He's back at the office now for him. Yes. So like stuff's gonna need to get worked on to get schedules in sync and everything. That's fine. But like the him traveling,
the holiday for 2 weeks,
and letting us know at like right before he leaves. I think
a week before. There's no way they booked it a week before and we're just like, cool, done. No, this has been booked.
Maybe it was an emergency trip.
Crash.
Look, I'm gonna give Matt the benefit of the doubt.
I love you. We both know where he's going, and there's no way you're booking an emergency trip to there, unless I'm totally
listeners
wrong.
Don't know.
Unless I'm totally wrong, and Matt's just absolutely a stinking rich dude that like his house out in this country needs renovating, and he just didn't tell us.
It could be a work thing. You don't know.
Crash. We both
I got your back, Matt.
We both know. You been all right, Crash? What you been up to this week? You been good?
I've been fine. You know, I've been good. You know what did happen?
Go on.
I was able to pre-order a Xbox mini fridge.
Huh.
Yeah.
Funny.
I saw a tweet of somebody who couldn't get it. They seemed a little bit angry and irritated, but
I was fuming.
Wouldn't know, it wasn't me.
I was fuming because it was. You know me. I've been very lucky. I got my Xbox, I got my PlayStation, I got my Switch when I needed to get a Switch. I'm usually pretty good with all that sort of thing. I just didn't think the mini fridge was going to be that limited, number one, and I didn't think that it would sell out. It's a mini fridge that cost £100, like £189. I just didn't think it would be that popular. So I was like 5 minutes late. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll just put one in my basket. Click the basket. Nothing. Wait, what? Click the basket. Nothing. And I'm not going to lie to you. There was a part of me in my head that looked at the website and was like, do you not know who I am? I looked at the website like, do you not know who I am? I'm MC Fixer. You take my money and you give me my mini fridge. And no, it wasn't a pretty look, was it, to be honest?
Didn't know who you were.
It didn't care. It didn't care.
It's so weird. Like, this is probably one of like the most limited appliance sales where it's like poachers are trying to get it. Yeah. I would imagine it all has to do with the console being limited as well, super by a large amount. I think.
I don't think it's got nothing to do with the console being limited.
You don't think so?
No, I just think it comes down to it's a niche product that you don't want. You would rather people be asking for more of than you have too many of and then have to put them on a discount. Well,
they already said that they're releasing more in December. And I think this will be a product that sticks around. I don't think it'll be like a super, super limited product.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see how quick they sold out.
So did you see the Discord of like the person with a Discord message of like, look how many I bought? He had like 60 just to scalp them on eBay.
Oh, I did not. Yeah, where did he buy them from?
I don't know. I don't know if it was UK or US, I'll be honest with you. But I saw that and I was like, scalpers are buying mini fridges to sell them for the same price as a Series S.
Yeah, it's 100. Yeah, no, that's
not that deep,
crazy.
It's not that deep.
No.
I don't need the mini fridge. Would I like the mini fridge? Of course I would.
You can get it it'll be available at some point. That will be more available than the console.
I'll make my own one if I have to, bro. Like, it's not that deep.
Just a cardboard box.
Is it cardboard box? Oh my god!
At some point, you'll get a new Series X. Fix is gonna go in and do some DIY stuff. Yep. Hollow it out. Make his own fridge compartment. Fix got it.
Madness. Yeah, I've had a crazy week, dude. It's been my last couple of weeks have been crazy. Anyway, we had EGX. First of all, with a bunch of other work stuff. Then we had Comic-Con with a bunch of other work stuff. And then this week's come along and I went to the Riders Republic launch event, which was a fun time. Shout out to ION who put on the event, and obviously Ubisoft. That was a good time. Got to meet a load of new people. And that was good. And then yesterday I was at a Halloween party, and I don't usually go to Halloween parties because I don't like dressing up. Number one, as I'm sure you can imagine, I'm a bit of a grouch, everybody. I'm sure you can understand. I'm a bit of a Grinch when it comes to anything festive. You know, Grinch is just Christmas usually. I am like,
you're just holidays in general.
Anything. Father's Day, boo. Mother's Day, boo. Christmas Day, depends what I get.
That one, you decide after the day. Did I like this Christmas?
Did I like the Did I like the presents that I got, and was the dinner good? We'll see. I'll be the judge of both of those things, all right? I'll be the judge. But yeah, and then today I'm doing a sponsored stream for Back for Blood. So if you watch this before 6 o'clock, we're back to GMT. We're back to GMT, Christ.
So for you guys, it's the weirdest thing because you guys switch between like the ending between GMT and BST.
Yeah.
In America, it still stays the same. Which when we first met and we were working on time zones and all that stuff, it was the most confusing thing because I'd be like, I would look it up what the time difference was and I would just check GMT all the time and I'd be like, there's no difference. It's the same thing.
That's partly my fault. I only learned what BST was like 2 years ago. Like generally, I did not realize that British Summertime and Greenwich Mean Time was two different things. I assumed it was all just GMT, but it goes back an hour. But no. Anyway, let's get into some Xbox news, Chris. Let's talk about Xbox, shall we? Remember, you can subscribe to us on iTunes and all podcast services. Patreon producers this month, as per usual, keeping us going. Big shout out to the one and only Erin Guard, and of course, the man who makes a ton of great content, FNH Paul. Without your support, boys, we don't know where we'd be. So thank you so much for keeping us going each and every week. Topic of the show this week, Kresh. We did a little, that happened this week as well. We did a little reaction stream over on the My Xbox and Me YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out. It did relatively wellish for what I was expecting. It did probably about right.
Yeah.
We checked out the Halo Infinite campaign gameplay stuff that they put out. Ended up being way shorter than I was expecting. Way shorter than I was expecting. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I just wasn't expecting a gameplay overview in the way they did. I expected, hi, I'm whoever, and this is Halo. It was like, no, here's the game. Check it out. These are all the improvements we've made. What did you think on a first look point of view of the new gameplay overview? I'm gonna call it a trailer because it's just easier to call it a trailer. But what did you think?
I liked it on first look. It was very shiny. I think it looked visually nice. The sandbox, just seeing how everything's interacting with it, the calling the vehicles, all that stuff has me very excited to play in that that world, even if the story necessarily doesn't 100% hit for me.
Yeah, I mean, I put out on Twitter, I thought it looked fucking amazing, and I did. I generally, as someone who isn't a Halo guy, we've been waiting for a time. I've been waiting for a time in which Halo speaks to me, you know, and this trailer, more than most Halo trailers, I'd probably say, it was a change in formula at the end of the day, and I enjoyed that immensely. It got me excited in certain areas. It didn't do enough in other areas, which for me, I think still story-wise, as someone who's never cared about Chief, I still don't care about Chief. I don't care about Cortana. Do you know? And I know that's the crux of this game, it feels like, in terms of its story, which is like, Chief is back, okay? I don't know what happened to Chief anyway. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. And then Katana's disappeared. Well, she's been hacked. It's like, who is she? I don't really know. It's like, okay, but I'm assuming they're going to do a good job of explaining why you should care. They just haven't yet in this trailer for me.
Yeah, I do kind of like that. It seems like they're pulling back a lot of the extra layers as far as the story goes, where it does seem like a very focused story, as opposed to Halo's a pretty big world and it has a lot of outside of games world building. And I don't think those are necessarily bad things, but when you focus on adding too many of those instead of adding them subtly and slowly, it can be very overwhelming, especially for people who aren't super into Halo. And it does seem, from what we've seen so far, that it is doing a good job of adding those in a palatable way for maybe less experienced Halo players, I guess would be the best way to word that.
I played every single one. I don't know what the hell's gone on. That tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need to know about me when it comes to Halo. So there's got to be, and I'm someone who plays video games every single day of my life. So yeah, I agree. From a gameplay point of view, I was quite impressed, because the gameplay was never something I thought was going to be bad. But it was it's the open world of Halo now, and the sandbox in which we're playing in, calling vehicles. Obviously, I saw a lot of people being worried about the whole not Assassin's Creed. We'll call it Ubified Halo. Is go to this point and do this mission, do this point over here and do this mission. Point of interest, take down the base. Like the stuff we associate with a Ubisoft game. Obviously, other games do it, but people are worried about that, and that, to me, actually has me more excited than a linear run forward experience, which I know Halo's more than that, but that's kind of how it feels to me in my brain when I think about it.
Yeah, that honestly, like walking away from the whole trailer, we're calling it. That kind of is my biggest worry with what we saw also is sort of like if you don't nail that experience correctly, it does really feel like a chore when you're going around and completing these outposts and whatnot. So it will be how much of it is outposts and how much of it will be sort of like explore this world and discover things off in the side and whatnot. And that balance is kind of difficult for games to do sometimes.
And how can I just mission to mission to mission to mission?
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be super important for the normal Halo person, someone who enjoys Halo and they want their narrative experience, right? They want to just play the story of Halo. They are going to want that experience. And I hope they're able to get it. There's no level problems. There's no this ability, that ability. You have to do this base, or you don't want any of that in this game. You need it to be very much. You can play as obviously a single player game, but until they add co-op later. But you can play it on your own. You can experience this story. You can enjoy this story, and there's all this other stuff to do. It's added. It's not taken away from your experience.
Yeah, and to be fair with like the upgrades we saw, which we don't know if that's the extent of the upgrades or how much more upgrades they are, they do seem very equipment focused. So that just means your grappling hook can do more and all those type of stuff. So maybe that won't really inhibit your campaign. But I do wonder is how will they lock off certain areas of the map that might be story relevant? Will it be like, oh, there are cannons in this area, and until you disable them in some other part of the map, you can't go here. Otherwise you'll die right away, which I think would be fine just to keep sort of like that story pacing, because that'll be the interesting thing. Because if you think about a lot of the newer open world games, a lot of them sort of just let you go to the final area right away, and sort of like if you want to and go under geared, you can fight the final boss right away. And I don't think Halo will do that, but who really knows? Halo might just be like, yeah, sure, you can, as soon as you land, you can go and fight the final boss if you want.
Yeah. You know what this gets me super excited about though?
What?
The next Gears.
Yeah.
Because they changed the formula already with Gears, with the skiv and that little bit more open sandboxy area that we got in the latest Gears. Now I'm like, what if
they do?
So
what if they add outposts?
Well, just
yeah.
I don't know if it would work with Gears, if I'm being honest with you, because I don't think you can drastically change Gears from what it is. It's a cover-based shooter.
Yeah. I do think that they could refine the experience they added in Gears 5, because like looking back at Gears 5, as much as I like that content because there's a lot of subtleties to the expanded world. Yeah. If they sort of find a way to make it more narrative focused and make those stories more relevant across the board, because some of them were sort of story light. If they could find a way to get people invested in those, I think it could be really cool. So I do like the direction that Halo is going with it in this regard, and hopefully Gears of War can walk away with something that Halo's doing. And
hopefully, for me, hopefully it's just Microsoft games can improve from it. It's more, I said Gears mainly because that's the franchise I care most about, but yeah, I just hope Microsoft, their story-driven games, which is what we need more of, obviously, is hopefully Halo, this is the big step. If Halo's successful, maybe they'll start taking a lot more risks with all of their franchises, which could be fun. Could be fun. Let's get into Fixer's Sack, shall we, Crash? We've got a bunch of questions this week. Remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter @myxboxandme. And of course, lastly, hit us up in Discord. I've got a personal Discord with a My Xbox and Me channel. Link is in the description of the YouTube video or over on my Twitch channel. So feel free to go and find the Discord link and chat amongst a bunch of My Xbox and Me fans. There's a lot of chat that happens after every episode in there, so it's nice. It's nice. First question from Paul Despawn, who says, with it being the Xbox's 20th year, 20 years of Xbox, what do you think Microsoft are going to do celebrate beyond a set of trainers? I mean, they've done the clothes. They've got the snapbacks, they've got the t-shirts, they've got the hoodies, the merchandise. Except for that, I don't really know. It's hard because I was expecting a limited edition console for it, but they can't even manufacture the consoles that they do have properly just yet. And like, I was even shocked when they announced the Halo one, if I'm being totally honest, which maybe that's stupid of me, because it's only the shell, I guess, is what's getting changed. It's not the components inside. But yeah, I don't know. 20 years of I'd love to see an old franchise come back out of nowhere from Xbox. I know I'm not an original Xbox guy, so I don't have any affinity to a lot of the original Xbox IP that they still own, like Crimson Skies and Blinks the Time Sweeper, stuff like that. But I feel like something fun like that coming back for its 20th year could be a good time. And it doesn't have to be like an amazing, crazy experience, but I think just something for a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the OG fans would be nice, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think we'll get much. I think we might get like some sort of special merch that they haven't announced yet. But realistically, I think it's just gonna be really a day for celebration. Like, here's what we've had. At most, we'll see some stuff for Halo and some stuff for some other games, but I don't think really anything super extensive if we do see anything.
Do you think we get a studio announcement ball? There's been a lot of chatter about they're not finished buying studios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
A lot of the rumors going on are that, which we'll talk about some of them later, but it really does seem to focus that Microsoft is working in partnering with third parties right now.
Yeah.
And so my assumption would be that that's sort of a vetting process as right now is like, if that relationship goes super well, then maybe we pick up those studios, or maybe we continue that partnership in the future. Because we've also talked about, like, does Microsoft need to start having timed exclusives and working with third parties more? And if the rumors are to be believed, then it seems like they are going in that route anyway.
Yeah. Let's go to the next question from SteadGB, who says, do you think Game Pass games should do like Forza 5 and allow you to buy the DLC, etc., and get early access to make it match the top version of the game? Personally, no. I think, for me, Game Pass is amazing, right? It's an amazing service. It is what it is. As soon as you're able to buy in to get early access and stuff, there's got to be a reason for the people who are buying the game at full price. And I'm not a big fan of the whole pay for the ultimate version to get 6 days early or 5 days early. Like, usually you get it on a Monday instead of a Friday. It's like, well, I don't think that's a good value of money. I don't think that's a good incentive. But clearly, the audience disagrees with that because we all do it. Well, I remember doing it for Gears before we were getting games and Game Pass. I remember doing it for Gears of War. Like, I was like, well, 5 days is 5 days. I have to do it. But no,
that's one of the hard ones to practice not doing it, especially when you're a fan of that franchise. It's like, I hate the early access thing, but knowing that game's going to be out for 5 days, and especially with something like Gears of War, where if you're a really big fan of it, it's like 5 days where everybody else is playing it and you're sort of out of that conversation. It's difficult not to do it.
Being on the other side of the wall on this is also quite hard, because getting codes early is exactly the same thing, right? It's you get the game early to stream so you can build up the hype for the game, so then it convinces more people to pick it up or play it in Game Pass or whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah, it's a hard one. I don't think it should be a part of Game Pass though. No. And I don't think you should be able to buy a DLC to get early access and play it through Game Pass still. No. I do think the added value needs to be on the full version of the game, because realistically, you still need people to buy the game at full price. Like, that is something that can never go away in our industry unless Game Pass. I know Game Pass makes crazy amounts of money, but surely it costs a lot of money to put these third-party games in there as well. So for it to thrive, you need people to be buying games at full price at the $80, well, $60, $80, $100 bundles of which we get games, right? Yeah, you need people to be buying those as well for Game Pass to still be viable. So in my opinion, no, Stead. I don't think that should be a thing. You should be able to match it at the top version to get early access. No.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it really benefits them that much also because it sort of, in a weird way, it kind of devalues Game Pass in a sense, right? If like, oh, I'm going to play it on Game Pass, but now it's like, well, you won't even get it as soon as it's available. So yeah, no, I generally agree. I don't think they should do it, but who knows? They might try it out with something.
Wait and see, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Next one comes from Toplift, who says, seeing as how the Xbox has 2 syncs, I believe that is, in the Series X/S suits. Skews. Sorry. That's not how I would have read skews. That's just my brain going, what the hell's that? Do you think Xbox will eventually release a mid-cycle upgrade to the console akin to the one of the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro? Or do you think they will focus more on the cloud? Go on,
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they will because it also benefits the cloud. The cloud, for people who don't know, does run on Series X's. I think I don't know if they've fully done that transition, but I do know they started it at least, but I'm pretty sure they're done with it at this point. So at some point, upgrading the SKU also means that you upgrade the quality of the games people are streaming on cloud if there are new SKUs available. I do think for cloud, at least, it is still beneficial for them to make new SKUs that are more powerful.
My only thought process of why I would say no, and not that I agree with this necessarily, but possibly, is Xbox, when they went through the whole Fortnite Apple debacle case, right? You had the lawyer or whoever the person was speaking on Microsoft point of view, I don't remember her name, unfortunately. She came out and said Xbox are never profitable on any consoles. And I remember talking about this on Podcast Unlocked, being like, does that include like the S or the redesigns and stuff like that? Because all of those redesigns are only so they can make the parts cheaper. That's why these consoles happen. It's like the first one's usually the most expensive, and then they figure out how to make things smaller, how to shrink products and things like that. I believe, again, I could be talking out my butt cheeks a little bit, but that's, from my understanding of how things work, is similar to that. An engineer would know way more than me, of course. But yeah, so in my head, I'm like, well, no. They won't do one because it's going to cost them money. Plus, this is a COVID world we're in now, and the consoles have been out now for 1.5 years, coming up to 2, relatively soon-ish. My relatively soon-ish isn't necessarily relatively soon-ish, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And people still can't get their hands on either console, like of the big 2, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, we've never really had this the way it's been. Scalping is a huge problem, and maybe it will happen, but it'll just come a lot later. But then I think that then puts the pressure on whatever the next Xbox, God knows, Series, whatever. Because I feel like that's where Xbox are at now, Series. That's going to be that's going to be whatever the thing is at this point. But I don't know. I guess that it makes X, but we've got X, we've got S, then we've got Pro. Maybe it's just Series Pro, and then that comes down. It's a smaller version of what we've currently got. But yeah, I don't know. Here's my answer.
I do also want to point out, as far as the cheaper thing goes, I don't think that necessarily applies to the One X and the PS4 Pro. I think that would be the One S and the PlayStation Slim or whatever they called it. I forget what they called it. I don't know if necessarily when they go into making these more powerful consoles, if they expect to make a bigger profit off of it, but also like reducing that margin by however much they can is also beneficial to them. True. If it is cheaper to produce.
True. That's a good point. No matter what the cost, it's still they're losing less money. So why wouldn't they do it? Then that's a very good way of thinking of it. So maybe I'm more with Kreshner. That's a good point. That's a good point. Next up from Anubis, who says, question for Kresh. You, in brackets, like many, are skeptical of superhero games because there's no end brackets here. Damn it. Because Avengers put a bad taste in your mouth. End brackets.
That's supposed to be the end.
I'm going to say end brackets. Maybe that's on our end. But are you going to...
me.
Okay, good. We blame Crash. Are you going to try out Guardians of the Galaxy? It's getting great reviews.
So it is getting a lot of good reviews. I've watched a decent amount of gameplay from it because after it was getting all the reviews, I've seen a lot of people I follow on social media talking very positively of it. But every time
I did the preview and told you it was great.
Your fix.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
You are one of the people who mentioned it as well. But every time I watch that game be played, something just doesn't come off fun off of it. And I'm not like denying the fact that it's a good game or anything like that. For me, for me to play it at this point, it would have to be a case of Fix plays it. Fix is like, it is up there for game of the year. You kind of have to play it sort of thing for the game of the year discussion. Yeah. Have you played it? I have a fire tweet. I just want you to know.
Next question.
I just want you to know.
What?
After the podcast, you'll see it.
What? You've got a tweet? You got
just
a tweet ready for me?
A little side story. Yeah. So, because I go on my Xbox Me page so often to check the comments for any questions or anything that might come in, I've been getting recommended like older episodes of the podcast, and I got a really old episode of the podcast, and I just clicked on it out of curiosity, and I just stopped at a random bit, and you say something that's just perfect.
What do I say?
You'll see.
No, let the audience know, just in case I missed the tweet. Come on, tell me.
You say the equivalence of, I've got the game. I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I'll let you guys know next week.
Story of my life, Crash.
Yeah,
dude. Like it's crazy.
I just also want to point out it was like episode 3 of the podcast or something like that. So it's not like episode 20 where they're in it for a little bit. It's like episode 3.
Episode 3, what, with Ross?
Yeah, it was Call of Duty. It was with Ross. It was just you and Ross, yeah.
So, in my defense, back then, I had a full-time job, so it was a little bit different. And then now, it's a little bit different because I'm just very busy doing other games-related things. I was shooting TV this week. My life's a madness, Crash. It's a madness.
I'm not attacking you, Fix.
It's a great tweet.
Understand. I just thought it was hysterical.
You've got to put the tweet out. It's a great tweet.
Yeah, I will.
Yes, I have Guardians of the Galaxy. My code came through a couple of days later than a few other creators. And then, like I say, just everything just falling on top of me. Like, I haven't played... The only game I played this week is Call of Duty. That's literally it. And that was because I'm doing a thing. So, it's just... Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing it. But I think... From now, as you know, because we're at the 11th month, Crash, as of tomorrow, from now till the end of the year, I'm just going to be busting through games. Like, it's literally, my stream schedule is going to go out the window, and I'm just going to be playing whatever the hell I want for any amounts of time that I want, because it's something that I want to do. So, yes, I will play through all the video games, and you will see. All of you will see. Next question. Fix, did you start Psychonauts 2 yet? If you need to fill some time, play that and talk about how amazing and surprisingly deep it is. It's a great question.
It's
a great question.
You haven't got to it yet, but you'll get to it later and you'll talk about it on another episode.
I haven't. It's the question of if you need some time to fill. I don't have any time.
No, it was for the podcast.
I know.
It was for the podcast. I know. Yeah.
It's like I say, it's just weird. It's a weird old time right now out here in the MC Fixer universe. Lots of different things. Lots of different things going on around gaming. Does that mean I get to play games? Absolutely not.
No.
Under none.
You get to watch from the sidelines.
I need to get myself a backbone. You know the backbone, the controller, like the Razer one. There's a few others. There's the backbone one is the one I actually really like the look of. And I actually did email their PR. So hey, backbone, let's clip this out. Hey, backbone, just saying, you're on the #1 Xbox podcast in the UK, made by me, MC Fixer. I would love to check out the backbone so I can use it more and play more games so I can talk about it on the podcast. Holler at your boy. Yeah, there you go, everyone. We got that. Hopefully we get some sponsorship from that, you know? I'll take it.
For sure.
Let's do one more question, Crash, before we move on to the news.
Okay.
You got one in particular here that you really like?
I kind of like the de-stress relaxing game one.
Which one's that?
It's literally the next one.
Oh, well, I guess I'll
From
go with it.
Origin Cookie Man.
Origin Cookie Man says, what are your go-to games to help you de-stress / relax? For me, Moon Glow Bay, recommended recent release, Game Pass, fishing / cooking RPG. Just Cause 4, The Floor is Lava, meta game using wingsuit only, and Freeze, mobile game. Mine would be my de-stress games Football Manager. You completely disagree, which makes sense.
No. I was gonna say I could guess that.
Yeah. No, it's a game that gets me stressed, but go on.
It's its own unique stress that sort of gets you out of whatever stresses you have in life. Because there was a point in time we've talked about on the podcast where I would like get on and Fix would just be playing Football Manager all the time.
Crash,
I understand.
It's mad how my success has gone up as soon as I stopped doing the stupid things I shouldn't have been doing, like playing 8 hours of Football Manager a day. No, not making content, not doing anything with it, just playing it.
Yeah,
Wild.
but life enjoyment, other way, right? Or has it been going up as well?
Just tiredness is the other way. Tiredness is the other way.
Got it.
No, Football Manager definitely for me is like my go-to. Start a fresh save, get invested in a story, especially if you do one from like the conference or something. Then you've just got me in a Discord call because I sit in Discord often, and I'm just like, Crash will be in there doing whatever he's doing. We're both silent for a bit. You'll hear me like, yes, he scored a hat trick, Chris. Chris like, who scored a hat trick? I'm like, my new youngster. I'm creating a narrative in my head about this kid. He's come from the streets of Peckham. His mum is working 5 jobs, and I've given him an opportunity. That's the narratives I build up in my head when I play Football Manager, you know? So
I am definitely for sure that curious about who Fix is talking about when he says they scored a hat trick.
You do. You're a liar. You definitely
for
asked.
sure am. That's what I'm saying. I asked for a photograph. ASL asked for everything. I just want to know everything.
Joker. Any other games that I got? Resident Evil 2. Which to some people that's probably stupidness, but just a quick cheeky speed run here or there just to see how far I'll get before I die.
Remake or original?
Yeah, remake.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a game that I can just throw on and run, and then if I die within 15 minutes, I just go, all right, cool, and turn it off again. Have I got anything else that pops to mind? No, I think that's it. I think those are my 2 go-to ones if I'm in a real stinking mood and I want to play a game, but I don't want to be too stressed out. Those are the 2 I go to, yeah. What about you?
For me lately, it's been Genshin. It's been that for like a minute. For me, it'll rotate really. It'll be whatever grindy game I have at the time that I can just sort of play, turn my mind off and grind. Back in Destiny 1 and for a while with Destiny 2 as well. That was a big one for me. When New World was out, I was doing that with New World until I decided bun that game.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. It's just whatever grindy game I'm playing at. I like a game that I can just sort of turn my mind off, just play, do whatever, and progress in some sort of menial, non-relevant way in the grand scheme of things. I don't really accomplish much, but I feel satisfied at the end of it.
And that's all that matters, that you're satisfied.
Yep.
The rest of the questions we got this week, and we got more to come. We will do those on next week's episode. Keep them coming. My Xbox and Me podcast at gmail.com. Let's jump into what's been in our box this week, Crash. Crash, what you been playing?
I played Age of Empires 4.
Hey, new game just came out.
Yeah, new game.
Crash playing the video games. Shout out to Crash.
The video games. Last year, completely different.
Mad.
Tables have turned.
Dude, I'm not even going to keep going over it. I'm so busy. How is it? Any good? Was it what you was expecting?
I mean, yeah, it's Age of Empires. To be honest, like, I'm sure it's changed, but it hasn't changed from what I remember Age of Empires to be, right? Which I think is a good thing. I think for some people they might have wanted more changes, but for me it's like it's comfortability. I think the campaign, what they do is interesting. They give you, and I don't remember how they would do it in the old ones, so they might have done it this way, but I don't think they did. They take you pick a battle in time and you sort of play throughout that war in that area doing key battles. And it kind of reminds me of Flight Simulator. And I feel like what they might end up doing with Flight Simulator, you know how you have areas that you can explore and they'll add new like landmarks and stuff like that?
Oh, okay.
Through DLC.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that. I feel like with Age of Empires, they might keep adding new battles to fight.
Oh, okay.
And sort of introducing like, because there is a lot of, they're very big in this game on teaching history.
That's what I was just about to say. So like history lessons and stuff. Like you
so
could have the Battle of Hastings gets added and little things like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do think they might go that way. Because I do know Civilization, like there are certain classes and certain teachers that have their kids play Civilization. I do feel like Age of Empires could fit into that as well, pretty decently for teachers out there and for educational purposes, which I think would be pretty cool. That being said, I personally, from what I played of the campaign, not a huge fan of the way it's done.
Okay,
but that's because I don't. It doesn't play out like a whole game. It is very much segmented, at least from what I've done, which it might change during certain missions and whatnot. I just sort of want to go in there and play the game, which is very much a me thing. I don't think that like takes away from the game at all, because I do think what they do is probably for the better of the game and gives it more of a reach for people. That being said,
the podcast is called My Xbox and Me.
That's true. That's true.
Almost.
I have also realized I am very bad at Age of Empires. I played a normal game with bots. I didn't last too long.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I did not last too long at all.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It happens. Is that all you've been playing?
That and I played Call of Duty with you.
Yes. We played some Call of Duty.
Yeah, which was it was fun. It wasn't bad.
I have learned that I'm never gonna get to the sweaty stage I was at during the pandemic, right? Like that was peak Call of Duty sweatiness for me for this Call of Duty. Maybe when the new map drops, I'll jump back in and be heavy in it, because again, everyone's learning again. But same thing with Fortnite. I'm just going to enjoy the experience. I'm not going to get stressed when I die. I'm not going to get annoyed when I die. I'm getting outplayed by people. People know the meta. I just don't care. I'm there for a good time, not a long time. So, yeah, I get it. Call of Duty was fun. Me, yourself, and Gwen played. Gwen had me cracking up. She's so funny. If you don't know who Gwen is, go check out her stream, sorry. She's just a bubbly personality and just absolutely hilarious. She was just cracking me up the whole time. And that was the fun of Call of Duty for me, is being able to go back and play a game and be like, I know it's a frustration for you because like 200 gigs, so you have to re-download it all again and stuff. But
it was 80 gigs.
Oh, okay.
For just Warzone, it was 80 gigs for just Warzone. Yeah.
And I must be thinking with Cold War, then it's like stupid amounts. But it's just that thing where everyone can play it as well. You can pick it up, you can play. When you get a kill, you feel like a badass because you've not been playing forever. And then when you die, you're just like, okay, all right, well, I've not been playing forever, so that's why I died. So,
fun fact: the day we played, I don't think I got a single solo kill.
Huh.
I don't think I might have got one at some point, but I can't remember getting a single solo kill.
Because there was a time where I had no kills and you had one and Gwen had like 4. So yeah, you definitely did have one. Yeah. You definitely had one. Yeah. I'm sure of it.
Thank you for boosting my confidence.
Of course. I need you to play again at some point. So someone's got. I
already uninstalled it.
You'll be reinstalling it again.
I did uninstall it because I knew you'd say that. it's still sitting in there.
I told you. I think what I'm gonna do is just buy you a 1 terabyte external.
I don't want it.
I don't care.
Let me tell you why I don't want it.
I don't care.
You don't know my address.
I don't. Well, I'm gonna send you the money. I'd be like, did you buy it? And I want a picture of it.
I want you to confirm where you spent that money. You didn't buy it on sale as well. I need to see the full receipt.
Oh yeah, I don't have your address, so I can't even Amazon it to you. But
nope.
I mean, if I just send it to New York, will you get it?
Oh, for sure. I'm the only person in New York.
All right, what else you been playing?
And then other than that, I've played a little bit of Smite. That's really about it.
Oh, you're back.
Well, I never really fully stopped playing.
Oh, okay.
Because I have friends that I'll play with on occasion. And so that happened. They're releasing Transformer skins for Smite, which excited for.
I mean,
do you care about Transformers fix? I have a question.
So, okay, do you want to hear a quick story? A little bit of a tangent. I had a guy called Michael was at the party. It was like last night, and like he was like, "Oh, do you watch Transformers?" And I looked at him and was like, "No." He was like, "You must have seen Transformers," and I was like, "Yeah, I've seen it. Like, I've seen the first one, sort of thing." And then like comes to my ear and does like a voice of one of like the Transformers bots, and like he's super impressed with himself. Love him. Don't get me wrong. I just looked at him and went, "Dude, I don't know who that is," and he was just like, "What?" Like, because he's a proper comic book and like proper, and I was just like, I play video games, dude. Like, that's what I do. I play video games. That is it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in response to him showing you his Transformer voice,
did I do my Kermit voice? No, Craig, I didn't do my Kermit voice. No. Crash, that is a reference that nobody is going to understand apart from you. If you're not watching the video right now, Chris is creasing up. Jesus Christ. No. Look,
that is, in all my time in playing games with you, that is easily top 3. It is, I died laughing when that happened.
What's number 2 and 1?
I'd have to think about it.
The PUBG moment has to be. The first time playing PC PUBG. And me not realizing it's you, and I shoot at you and miss every single bullet side to side.
Eventually kill me,
and then literally you go, "That's me," and I'm just like, "Oh yeah."
I'm like looking back and forth. The guy's not shooting back at you. No question about
that moment is I think that might be my number 1 moment.
I think it's mine as well. I can't think of another. So honestly, the Kermit voice one might be number 2, but I feel like there's something else that goes there. I feel like there's probably another moment.
I'm trying to think of like.
You know what the problem is?
We have a lot.
We have a lot, and I feel like we didn't do a good job of preserving a lot of the clips when we were streaming.
I did.
Did you?
I've got all my. Before I purged, I downloaded every single one of my clips.
Oh, in fact, I haven't deleted a single clip.
That's because you don't stream anymore. You're not worried about
That's
DMCA.
True. If I get DMCA, too bad.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares at this point? All right. What else have you been playing? You said you had one more game.
It was Smite.
Oh, it was Smite.
Yeah, that was
Fair enough. Let's jump into this week's dashboard before we get ourselves out of here. First news story: Xbox's financial year 2022 Q1. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Let me check the article. I tried to go off the title there, everybody, and that didn't sound right. So let me check it.
It's 22. Financial year 2022.
Yeah, but
you said 2021.
Oh, did I? Microsoft has reported its financial year 2022 Q1 earnings, seeing gaming has risen. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. You are correct.
But that is what it says.
Yep.
But we're going with it. Shout out to Windows Central. They wrote this article. It wasn't me. Please don't come for me. Which has risen 16% year over year. Maybe it's because the financial year is different from the normal year. Remember last week we spoke about this?
Yeah,
about the financial year taking
right.
place at different times.
I'm looking it up right now. I think you're correct, though.
But anyway, it's risen over 16% year over year with Xbox content and services, and hardware is also up 2% and 166% retrospectively. The latest figures were attributed to the risen in Game Pass and first-party game revenue, while third-party titles offset year-over-year growth. The Series X and S also remain in high demand, outpacing the Xbox One sales over the same period for the year 2021 Q1.
It is October to December, apparently, is Q1. And then Q2 is January to March, Q3 is April to June, and then July to September is Q4. It's based off the federal government, apparently.
Doesn't make sense.
That's a quick Google search. I don't know if it's 100% fact. Take everything with a grain of salt.
This is not financial advice. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to us.
Don't buy NFTs, please.
Go buy your My Xbox and Me podcast NFTs at My Xbox and Me podcast at NFTs.com, please. If you would like to own a piece of history. That's good news, Crash, obviously, from Xbox's point of view.
Yeah.
Everything's still on the up. I know last week we spoke about how things were still on the up, but they were slower. Game Pass was growing slowly. But overall, Xbox in a very, very healthy place. Bit of a tangent. A little bit of a tangent. And I suppose I just have a weird question to ask you. Obviously, you probably saw the Zuckerberg Metaverse stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, where is your head at with the Metaverse? Like, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're a much smarter man than I am. University degree, beautiful hair, so it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense why you're smarter than me. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The Metaverse is kind of like what's that film? Crap. Oh, the book. Or people will come for me if I call it a film. People will absolutely kill me. What's the film? The book. Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
That's the whole Metaverse, like where we become these characters, and then we've got a world that we're playing in, and that's what Metaverse stuff is, right?
Don't think so.
Oh.
I think Metaverse is kind of. I'm gonna Google it, but I think it's kind of whatever you want it to mean.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, I want it to
I don't think the Metaverse.
Seahorses.
Okay, so you are correct. The Metaverse is an iteration of the internet part of shared virtual reality.
Yeah,
you're correct. Right. You're a smart person. So I don't know why you knocked yourself down there.
No uni degree. I don't have beautiful hair. Could be those things.
You not have beautiful hair?
No, I didn't comb it today at all. It's just bad. I woke up and rolled out of bed to do this. You know, it was important. Yeah, this whole Metaverse. Do you think Microsoft are gonna get in on this? Because they've been obviously we don't have VR, which is obviously a huge part of all of this. Do you think that Microsoft are going to be like, or Xbox more importantly, not Microsoft, Xbox are going to be like, hey, we need our version of the Metaverse, and that's why we have Forza becomes the racing game in the Metaverse, and Gears is do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm kind of a bit far with it in my head.
I think you're going a bit too far. As far as I'm aware, I don't want to get too into it, but the whole Facebook thing and why they're doing what they're doing is because they've lost the younger demographic. And so this is a way for them to try and regain the younger demographic. So I don't think this is like actually going to be a thing. I think this is a big push from Facebook to regain. I'm
on the opposite side of it. I think this is going to be a big thing. I think it's going to be like Ready Player One, and I'm going to be the dude that's like, you know, that the dude that's like the king of the world, and he's like sick at games in this Metaverse.
You
and,
just want a world where you're like the best at.
I'm the god.
The best at
that's
games.
what I want. Yeah,
that's what you want. Yeah,
right. I want to be a god in games and people to respect. They walk past me, they're like, "I've got a crown," and then was like, "How'd you get that crown?" It's like, "Oh, it's because I'm the best at Forza 2020." 2020. Sorry, that game's already out.
The Metaverse is out, Fix. You've been at the top.
I've been the king. I've been the king. Yeah, a bit of a tangent, but yeah. Okay, fair enough. Next news story: Amy Hennig is working on a brand new Marvel game. This one come out of nowhere. I don't know what keeps happening with these Marvel games getting announced out of nowhere, and then everyone just going, "All right, time to report on these." But Amy Hennig is working on a big AAA story-driven project with Skydance Media. We say it's new. It was announced back in 2019, but now we know that it's a Marvel game. Narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game with a completely original story and take on the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts as to what it could be?
Not yet. I would quite like the. They said the word original, obviously, but I would love it to be like super original, like whole new world. You're just this unknown superhero. Nobody knows you. You're able to sort of bring it. It's not going to happen. But you asked me what I want.
Yeah, no. I get.
It's not going to happen. But you asked me what I want.
So what you thought it was?
What I thought it was. What I think it is.
I do know that there was the leak a while ago that a Wolverine and a Daredevil game are coming out. So everybody's saying that if the Wolverine game is the one that Insomniac's working with, this will be a Daredevil game, and that means it's supposed to be Daredevil that takes place in Chicago instead of New York.
I don't want that.
I like Daredevil. I think it could be cool. I
get it. He's blind.
It's
what? Like, what more?
what's the point of that comment?
Nah, I don't know. I just thought it'd try to be funny, mate, honestly. I like Daredevil. He's cool. I get it. Like, the TV show's fun, but do I need that for a game? Not really. Didn't we get a Ben Affleck game with him?
First of all, I don't think anybody wants to remember Ben Affleck as Daredevil. Let's be 100% honest.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't like it could I'm gonna bet money. I'm not gonna bet money. Let me just take that back real quick. No money's being bet.
You sure?
Yes. I think it's a safe bet to assume that this will be the Daredevil game. Because the Wolverine game came true, it taking place in Chicago makes sense. There's so many games taking place in New York. Mainly the Spider-Man games, the Miles Morales, and the mainline one, they would probably want to differentiate it in some sort of way. A Daredevil game could be cool. I don't know what other franchise I'd want. I think a Moon. Right. I think there's a lot of franchises that could be really cool, and I do kind of wish they would go for maybe a more obscure. I feel like I'm mispronouncing that word. Obscure.
You got it.
Franchise or not franchise,
like
but
what? Who would you go with?
Here. I don't know. I would enjoy to be surprised by it, but I think also you have to look at Amy Hennig and what does she work good with. And I do feel like a Daredevil type of story would work well with her.
Yep.
I think Shang-Chi would have been interesting. I do know somebody mentioned that in Discord. I think there's a lot of stuff. I think some of the more cool Marvel stuff, I don't know if that would have necessarily been something up her alley that she could necessarily work with, to be fair.
The problem I have with it is this is going to be a third-party game, right? This is going to be, we assume, and it's not going to be exclusive on anything. So it's like, give me an Ant-Man game. Something we could do. You can do some. The amount of cool stuff you could do with Ant-Man in a video game would be dope.
Yeah.
Giant, shrinking, different worlds, give me a bit of humor. That would be dope.
But you're thinking of this from a fun game perspective, where I think the main thing to take away from this is a narrative perspective. I think you can write a much better story. Yeah. You haven't read comics. You don't read comics. You don't read comics.
I get it. He's blind. I get it.
Like, honestly, every page is just like Daredevil, Matt Murdock, he's blind.
I get it. Like,
sort of in repetition. That's all it's really about.
He's a lawyer. He's blind.
He's a lawyer. He's a blind lawyer.
Do you know what? He's blind, and he gets all the girls, from my understanding. He's blind, he gets all the girls, and he's a damn good lawyer. That's what I know about Daredevil. I don't need any more. There's
no more narrative you can do with it.
I've done it all.
Yeah, true.
He dates the chick from True Blood. I don't know if they actually date. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sexual content. Well, you never watched True Blood? Nah, let's get someone working on a True Blood game. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think.
Do you know how much story we can get out of that, Krish? There's sex. There's blood.
I don't know how big. I don't know how big sex is in games. Fix. I'll be honest.
You get 18 rated and then that's it. It's done. Well. The Witcher had sex.
Yeah, I guess.
And everyone loved it. Does Cyberpunk have sex? I don't know. I didn't open my copy, so I wouldn't know.
Cyberpunk does. That is correct.
Bro, you remember that game?
You never opened so you never played Cyberpunk.
I got sent a code.
Okay, so you did play Cyberpunk.
I played the beginning part, but I've got an unopened copy because my thought process was I'm not going to send it back to Amazon because it's going to be that bad. It's going to get recalled, and I'm going to keep my copy. It's going to be worth millions, but that never happened.
It never got
another tangent, bro. So many tangents this episode. Love it. Went to a toy store the other day to buy Halloween costumes. They had a Cyberpunk toy there, and it was on the reduced section for £8, and I looked at it and was like, Will that be
Those
worth
were
some money
definitely
one
planned.
day?
Like, what? You buy it.
I was like, will
I
that be
don't
worth
think
some
it will
money?
be.
And then I looked on the eBay and it was only going for £12. I was like, I could flip this, but then the eBay fees, probably not worth it, you know?
Yeah, I think if you buy it and they ever make another Cyberpunk, and that does like huge numbers
Gangbusters.
and people love it and all that stuff, then
That could be
that's
rich.
where you get the payoff. Yeah, that's where you get the $30.
8 to 30, that's a big flip, Crash. I could be
Yeah,
about
it's $22.
that. Actually, I'm going back
Yeah.
to the store. I'm gonna go after this podcast, you know. Definitely
Yeah.
gonna do that. Daredevil. Let's go back. I'm fine with it being a Daredevil game. All jokes aside, I get that he's more than a blind guy. It was more for comedic value before anyone comes for me. I'd like a good Captain America game though. That would be cool. I think but again, I just know more about the character, I guess, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'd like a good Hulk game, but beyond Smash, what more can you do?
Yeah, there's stuff you could do with Hulk, but it would like
Crash.
the problem with even with Hulk would be
We
like
get it. He's a doctor. We get it.
He's doctor. His doctor rages out.
We get it, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, this should be my new thing. It's like someone's like, pitch me something, and like on TikTok, it's like, Spider-Man, we get it. He got bit by a spider. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, I apologize. I've killed us on the tangent here. Amy Hennig's working on a new game, probably going to be Daredevil. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
I am a 7.
Okay, that's a lot higher than I was expecting.
I like Daredevil. I think Amy Hennig's a great narrative writer for video games. And Daredevil has a lot of stories that they could use as sort of a basis for whatever they do. It is going to be original, but there's a lot of different ways they could take it that I do think there is more to its success. I think the only thing that sort of stops it from being higher than a 7 for me is that we haven't seen what the game will play like. And that is a big, you would probably not assume this, but it's a very big part of video games, how a game plays.
I mean, Uncharted was successful. That game didn't play well, so.
That's not incorrect.
You know, so.
Not incorrect.
There you go. Next story. Xbox could be developing a cloud-first MMO with a Finnish developer, Mainframe. This one was taken from Windows Central and written by Matt Brown, I believe. Microsoft is a cloud-first company, so it should come to no surprise that the Richmond giant would be exploring cloud-first games. A while back, Windows Central shared on the My Xbox 2 podcast. Sorry, it was close. They almost stole our name. I was about to have to get the lawyers involved. With noted Xbox insider Rand or 419 that he'd heard Microsoft may be working on it with the Finnish Finnish developer Mainframe Industries on some sort of cloud-based MMO. Although they didn't have any other details beyond that. Today, the majestical named Jeff Grubb from VentureBeat added a heap of details, adding fuel to the possibility that there may have uncovered yet another game to be added to the growing list of Xbox exclusives. Reportedly named PAX D. Have I said that right?
PAX Day, I think.
Day? Okay. This MMO will scale in complexity based on how you're accessing the game. PAX Day is indeed registered as a computer game trademark on the EU IPO website, attached to Mainframe Industries. The trademark was filed in June, but was granted through 2031, starting this October. Crash.
Yep.
Microsoft getting in the MMO game?
I wouldn't be super surprised. Because,
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft's already sort of dabbled in support with MMOs. Neverwinter, I think, was it first released on Xbox as far as consoles go.
I remember playing that. Shot a Let's Play and everything.
Did you really?
Check my YouTube channel. I made a lot of crap content. I used to do a series called Free Play Fridays, and that was a free-to-play game, so we checked it out.
Got it. But yeah, so as far as consoles go, MMOs are kind of an interesting thing. But even outside of that, I feel like we've seen with New World, MMOs have such a large reach that MMOs that an MMO that's done right
Yeah.
could be a really big hit. I do wonder how far the cloud-based and how different the experience would be where you're playing. I do know I read somewhere that possibly like you'd be doing skilling on mobiles. I don't know how on mobile. I don't know how accurate that was.
Yeah.
But I would be very interested to see how this would be done exactly. I love seeing Xbox go into the MMO route. I also think that this kind of falls in line with what Xbox does, because Xbox, at least since Phil Spencer's been at the head, they've tried to get either their name attached to or put out a game that is sort of fills a genre. And so I do think the MMO genre, which to be fair, they do have Elder Scrolls Online now, but it could be something that they still want to look into more. So
I think for me, I'm super happy that if this is true, and again, take it with a pinch of salt, nothing's confirmed, yada, yada, yada. If this is true and it ends up being good, it's another, we talk about it, or I speak about it ad nauseum, which is Xbox have the best racing game, the best cover-based shooter. Another thing that their competitors doesn't have. And that's another reason to want to play games in their branding. Let's say it like that. Because whether it's on PC, Xbox, or mobile, who gives a crap at this point? To me, it's a smart thing to do. It's just getting it right. And I think New World is a perfect example of that. Of like, I love MMOs. Doesn't mean I know MMOs very well. Doesn't mean I'm good at MMOs. Anything like that. But I love playing MMOs. The mindless dumbness of an MMO and the stupid tasks, I thoroughly enjoy it. Leveling up my tree cutting ability, to me, some of the most exciting thing I can do in a day, you know? But the problem I found, and I'm sure you're exactly the same with New World, is the end game. And I just wish people would I wish developers would kind of reverse engineer an MMO, and it's like, start at the end. What is the big boss that we are grinding towards? And all I need you to do throughout the entire game is allude to the fact we are going up against this big boss. The whole story, not that I care about the story, but everything you are doing needs to lead to a big boss at the end.
Yeah, I agree, but to be fair, I think New World sort of nails in the park what their end game is. It's PvP.
Yeah, but it's not what I want.
Thanks. I'm 100% without a doubt right there with you. But yeah, no, I agree. I think how will the longevity of it last? And MMOs are a really interesting one where you could have a really hot year or two with an MMO and then it'll drop off the face of the planet because the content that's coming out isn't what the players liked, because there is distance between what the developer wants to make and what the players enjoy about a game. And so even if this game comes out and it's being reviewed and people like it and are positive about it, the developers have to be able to see early enough what is good about their game and continue to develop in that area while maybe making more content and bettering the areas that maybe aren't as well received. MMOs are really, really an interesting category to be in, because I also feel like a good MMO isn't necessarily the best game possible. It's the best MMO experience possible, and they're very distinct and different. And so it'll be interesting to see if this ends up being it. If this ends up being true, what route they take for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I hope it's true. The clad stuff, I'll wait before I'm skeptic about it all, and we'll go from there, I guess. On the trial of Xbox working with different partners, publishing partners, and they're publishing, but different developers. Project Belfry. Xbox is working on the Banner Saga, the Banner Saga dev, Stockic Studio on the exclusive. We don't know many more details beyond this, but it's been leaked out once again from Jeff Grubb and a few others who have been speaking about this. And yeah, it looks like Xbox will be working with the Banner Saga developers to work on an Xbox exclusive game. I think this is like a really smart decision from Xbox. The Banner Saga has like a huge audience of people that love those games, and I think it's a good get for Game Pass. Is what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, which is they need to be giving me new experiences that are exclusive every single month. Doesn't matter how big or small, how long they are, or what scale it is, AA, AAA, indie. They need to be giving us stuff. And this is a smart way to do it. Working with different publishers to work on exclusive games for the service.
Yeah. I mean, this is also kind of falls in line with what happened with Tell Me Why, right?
Yes.
Is they find a developer, they work on a game with the developer, and at least with the case of Tell Me Why, it worked really, really well. And I'm a huge fan of this as well. I'm not the biggest person of the Banner Saga. No. This might not even be a game that's up my alley, but I think the important thing is Microsoft gets games that work for some people, that there's at least something there that you'll look at and be like, oh, maybe I try that, or oh, that's another good game that's on Game Pass, even if it doesn't hit for me.
It doesn't have to be a game for me to want it to still exist, and for me to know there's a smart decision for Microsoft to do it. If Microsoft come out with a snowboarding game, actually, if it was SSX, I'd be totally in. A puzzle game. Puzzle games are not my jam. So if they come out with a puzzle game, and I'm like, well, that's still smart because they don't have a puzzle game in their portfolio. So why wouldn't they do it, So, it makes perfect sense. One more leak that's come out from Xbox, which we believe all these to be true because of the people that are saying them. Xbox may be working on a Wu-Tang themed action RPG led by Brass Lion Entertainment. This one was again written by Windows Central. Jeff Grubb also confirming this and verifying on his podcast that this is all to be true. So a new Wu-Tang game coming exclusively to the Xbox consoles, and another RPG?
Yeah. I was a little surprised when I read this.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people were expecting this.
No.
I will say it kind of makes sense. I feel like Wu-Tang, as far as they're concerned, have been doing a lot of stuff. They've had the TV show revolving around them. I feel like they've been doing a lot to capitalize off their name. Yeah. And so this kind of falls in line. Gaming's huge and only growing. So them looking to partner up and make a game off of it kind of makes sense.
100. Everyone's trying to get in right now. Yeah. When it comes to gaming, everyone's trying to get in. So it's, do Wu-Tang have a big enough name for an exclusive game on Xbox? Is a weird thing for me. I love Wu-Tang, obviously. I love rap music, so there was no way I'm not going to love Wu-Tang. But I don't know. It's just a weird one for me where I'm like, is this is what we're doing? Okay. I mean, more power to you. Like I say, keep feeding me that content. Keep feeding me that content.
I think the Wu-Tang name is big enough to get people's eyes on the project, right?
Okay.
And I think that might be the goal, is like if they generally make a good game and it just having Wu-Tang attached gets people to focus on it and then word of mouth spreads for it, I think that would work for the game.
Fair enough. Next up is a very interesting story that I wasn't expecting. Warner Brothers is working on a new fighting game. That's not a shocker. But the whole roster's been leaked by the looks of things here. So a whole image leaked out about this as well for this new fighting game. Characters such as Rick and Morty, you've got the Justice League, you've got Scooby-Doo, you've got Batman, Harley Quinn, you've got Finn and Jake from the Adventure Time, you got did I say Superman? I think I did. Gandalf, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, and more. There's some stuff going on Reddit about this one. That possibly it could include Mad Max. It could also include Johnny Bravo. Maybe even have Harry Potter in it and Ron Weasley. But apparently the rights for that was a bit of a sticky situation, not surprisingly. But there is an image out there that got DMCA'd on Twitter by WB, which pretty much confirms that this is a real thing.
Yeah. The person who put out the picture was Hungrybox, big in Smash Bros. He also put out a video which also got he got a claim or a strike as well, which I think that just puts the nail in the coffin. Yeah. And it's 100%. This game is real. I read that it's supposed to be free to play. I don't know how accurate that is. Makes Obviously, sense. Nobody really knows.
From the little image that I'm looking at, it looks like a mobile game that's going to also be on console. And Could that be a stretch from this tiny image that I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yes. Hence why this is called an opinion.
Yeah. I kind of took it as they're doing a very dumbed down artistic style. Dumbed down's the incorrect word, but a very simple artistic style. Just so, because you have to get all the characters to fit in the same game. Yep. And it's kind of hard if you're doing the characters, like if you're doing Batman as detailed as Batman is, and then having him fight Rick and then having him fight Shaggy. It's like, it's not going to fit. Yeah. So I think the art style just sort of blends them all together.
It's smart. It's super smart. Like, why not? You have the IP, you have game studios. Why on earth would you not put the two together? Like, you've seen what Smash has done. The problem that upsets me with this is, in fact, it's just not that same level of a Smash. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, do it, in my opinion. If you're gonna do it properly. Like, really go out and hopefully the game's good. I'm a lot of opinion, a lot of negativeness, I guess, from me. I haven't seen it. I didn't see the video, so I don't know how good it looks, but from this image, I'm just like, not the art style I would like. But yeah, it's hard. But you're the fighting game guy, Crash. Like, how you feeling about this one?
I'm excited. I'm excited that like the Nickelodeon game came out. Obviously, a lot of people enjoy some of the mechanics the game has, but then some of the characters look wonky, and then none of the characters have VO, which sort of. Yeah. You see an iconic character, you play as the iconic character, and the iconic character has no voice lines. It just doesn't, I don't think it works. I don't think it hits. So this apparently is supposed to have voice lines, which would be already a step above. But I like games coming out and giving Smash Brothers in particular a run for their money, because Nintendo's pretty horrible as far as the pro scene for Smash goes, and also online. I think those are two things that Nintendo generally is just horrible with. They've canceled a whole bunch of community events for Smash tournaments and stuff like that. So having another game to sort of compete and make them maybe be more lenient with those type of things, I think would be very beneficial.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm happy it exists. I mean, that's the important part. It exists, right?
Yeah.
What's this? New rumor. New. I don't know if I'll read that story, Crash. I'll be honest with you, mate. We're running.
We don't got
very
to.
short for time. We're running very short for time.
We don't got to.
You know, it's. I would, but you know, it's hard. I will tell you, that's the wrong link though to this story.
Oh my God, it is the wrong link.
So, you know, we'll read the rumor. New Killer Instinct entry reportedly in the works at Microsoft. Crash, how excited are you?
We knew this was gonna come out until I see something. I'm not any more excited. This does nothing for me. I gotta see something.
Wow.
Look, I love Killer Instinct. As maybe if you've been listening for a while, you would have guessed that I like Killer Instinct. This doesn't really, like, we assumed that Microsoft was gonna be working on a Killer Instinct at some point. Phil Spencer made a comment about it. Comments have been coming out about Killer Instinct for a minute now. This doesn't give us a studio that's working on it. I know the two names of the two studios that were running around were the Power Rangers studio, and Street Fighter 4. I think it was Ultimate Studio. I don't know if it's a different studio from just Street Fighter 4. But those were the two studios running around, and I don't know, until I see something, I don't even need to see something. I just need to know the studio that's working on it. Because I wouldn't want the Street Fighter 4 team to be working on it.
You want the Power Rangers?
I'd rather the Power Rangers team over the Street Fighter 4 team.
Okay.
Just because of the way the games play, I feel like Power Rangers would be more in line with how a Killer Instinct plays, as opposed to Street Fighter 4. I don't know if I would want something like that to be what Killer Instinct is. Which, to be fair, if the studio could do whatever, the studio could knock it out of the park as well. It's not, they can't, it's just by previous work. I feel like Power Rangers would fall more in line with what Killer Instinct is, as opposed to the Street Fighter game.
Fair enough. Well,
Are you excited for this at all?
No.
You love Killer Instinct.
I do?
Yeah, I remember you were like, oh yeah, Killer Instinct, my favorite game ever, behind Resident Evil 5.
Moving on. The Dark Pictures Season 1 finale has been announced. So for those who don't know, the Dark Pictures games are games that I enjoy quite a bit. I have House of Ashes. I haven't had a chance to play House of Ashes. But at the end of each of their games, they always include the trailer to their next game. And the next game is going to be called The Devil Inside Me. So, I haven't seen the trailer yet on purpose because I'm waiting until I finish the game to watch it, so it's not spoiled for me. But yeah, The Devil Inside Me, Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil Inside Me will be the end of Season 1 of Supermassive Games. And yeah, I love Supermassive Games. I love them as a studio. I'm so happy that we get these games. I would love Xbox to gobble them up. Literally buy them. Because these games I don't think sell well enough that they don't get the credit they deserve for how good they actually are. But they're also games that need to exist. So if they were in Microsoft and they can get them out in a good amount of time, graphically some of them are beautiful as well. Yeah, I would love that. But yeah, Bandai are usually people who publish these games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Is it all one big story?
No. So no, it's not one big story. It's different. It's very different stories told. But I think what they're trying to do is, I don't know the ins and outs. There's no interwoven anything. I think it's just more a case of like what they will do is like, so the first game had a teaser to the second game in one of the pictures, and so did the second game for the third game. I'm assuming the third game does for the last one, and then they want to have a clean break of like maybe they want to work on something different, or maybe something like that. I'd love to have a conversation with them, or maybe it's the supernatural element in some of these games and stuff. They just want to move away from that entirely and tell different stories in the same Supermassive Game style, but it's not everyone's dying. Maybe it's a Tell Me Why or something else, and so they have to like that. Season 1 is horror, season 2 is something else. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Maybe it's that. I don't know the ins and outs, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Next one. We're running late for time. Ubisoft plans to create its own blockchain games to quote enable more play to earn. What the hell does that mean?
You know what a blockchain game is?
You know I'm from the ends.
We talked about. We actually brushed on this topic earlier in the show.
NFTs.
It's NFTs.
Yeah. So from my understanding, blockchain is off the grid, right? So the government can't be involved in it somehow.
No. So it can't be duplicated.
What does that mean?
So the idea behind, because there are games that already do blockchain, they're already blockchain games, and that you earn stuff in the game. You'll earn an item or whatever it is, and that item is completely unique to you, and people will sell it.
Like
so that is
does that have that?
No. So Counter-Strike, you can sell the guns and stuff like that in Counter-Strike, but there's duplicates. Like you can get a certain butterfly knife, and a whole bunch of people can get that butterfly knife.
But they're worth.
And so it has a set value. Yes. So it's a similar idea to that, but presumably in one of these games, if you were to get a drop. So think the next Division game, right? You're running around in Heartland, you get a unique piece of loot, and then that loot has a set amount of rolls on it, and then a set look to it or whatever it is, and then that is worth a certain amount of money, and you could sell it for whatever. Yeah.
I like this idea a lot. But I like this idea a lot for my pockets, but what scares me is it's still a business. And though I love Ubisoft, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This further solidifies the point of what we were talking about before with them in regards to Splinter Cell and the direction they're going as a company and the free to play and all this stuff. Like them wanting to get into this as well. It just muddies the waters even more for me, where it's like, I don't know what they're doing, but everything seems to be a cash grab. Because even it feels like a cash grab. Because I'd assume if you sell something for, let's say, $500, that they take 100, or
they're taking a
10%,
cut, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so it's like, this just seems like a money move, and this is something in particular that the investors were happy about. So it's yeah, I'm not happy about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to educate myself more on the blockchain and things like that before I've heard little bits and bobs, and that's why I joked about the NFTs at the start. But yeah, it's not. I don't know.
I don't know enough about NFTs. Some people say it's the future. Some people say it's a scam. I think it's somewhere in between. Like, they'll have values in the same way that paintings in real life have value. They only have value if you want it to.
Eye of the beholder, right?
To somebody,
the value's in the eye of the beholder.
Because to somebody, a Van Gogh could be a paperweight to them, other than it's like actual value in money. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Well, somebody like that could have no actual worth to them. So I think NFTs will fall into a very similar category. I think it'll just take time for them to get accustomed to, because they're still very new and people don't really fully know what they are exactly.
Well, someone on the internet told me to buy an NFT the other day, right? And generally it was a TikTok, and the guy was like, the value is at this now. If you download the app and buy it right now, you can buy it for this price. And I checked the app to see I could buy it. I think it was like a couple $100. And I was like, no, not doing it. Don't trust it. And then they put out another TikTok, and it's like, it's now worth quadruple. And I was like, I don't understand though. Like, it just don't seem right. It seems illegal.
Well, it's Bitcoin. People thought that like cryptocurrency felt illegal as well. It's just something that's not super. The rules around it aren't set in stone because the people decide the worth of it.
That's why you can make your money right now as well. Wait until the government come in and rob us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even like one of those conspiracy theory people, but you can never trust the government.
I assume they'll try and regulate it at some point.
Yeah. But can they? I don't know. My Crypto and Me coming soon.
I think governments can do whatever they want. They can abuse all the power they want. They're free to do whatever they want. I don't know what we could do to stop them as individual people. As a society, though.
Crash, you're going to start the Viva Revolution?
Yeah, I'm hitting up Ubisoft for them to help me.
Jesus, wrong company. Let's get ourselves out of here, Crash. Let's plug. What have we got to plug this week, dude?
The My Xbox and Me YouTube page, the comment sections have been a little bit dry. My Xbox and Me podcast reviews have been a little bit dry. I've been checking the podcast every week before this went live. I was like, yo, Fix, check the podcast reviews. I don't know if he actually did, but
I did.
They've been empty. I would like to see a podcast review for next week. It doesn't have to be every week, but for next week, it would make me a little smile on my face.
That doesn't happen often, people. Make sure you do it. If you are watching this straight away as this gets uploaded, come over to my podcast. No, come over to my Twitch stream. I'll be doing a Back for Blood Halloween stream where I'll be dressed up as a zombie. Just some face paint, Crush. Just some face paint.
Was that a zombie? I didn't ask you to repeat the noise. Was that a zombie? Was that a zombie hungry for brain? What type of zombie? Now I gotta know. What type of zombie?
I'm a vegan zombie. Vegan. What I eat meat.
Vegans. Okay, but how could you? So what do you survive on?
Plants.
What plant? I'm very interested in the zombie dietary needs. Flour, is that what zombies survive on?
Vegan ones.
Zombies don't have to eat brains.
No.
They can just eat. So zombies are essentially just a-holes.
Yes, that's facts anyway. Zombies don't need to eat brains to live.
Okay. Where'd you learn that?
I played Resident Evil.
Oh, no, you can't say that. You want to know why? Because last time I called the zombies and the monsters in Resident Evil zombies, you're like, no, they're not. They're infected. They're a virus.
I mean, it depends on which game we're talking about here, mate. There's a lot of... I can change the argument. I can change the argument depending on the game.
You made that blanket statement. It was not about a particular game. It was not about anything. You just made that a blanket statement fix.
Depends what mood I was
I'm
in.
gonna make it a blanket statement as well.
Depends what mood I was in. You can't push me. You can't push me like
Resident Evil 5 best Resident Evil.
The Ouroboros virus. Interesting.
Yeah,
Not zombies,
the one
they're
that
not
makes
zombies.
zombies.
They're not zombies. See, they're not
The one,
zombies.
yeah, the ones that make zombies.
T virus.
The snake-headed zombies. That have the mouths that open up.
That's Ouroboros.
And the dogs.
We're done with this. We're done with this. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. We're going to respect your time and leave. Goodbye.
Bye.